Good evening, citizens of Linden, colleague board members, members of the district. Today is January 25th, and we are here to host our regular meeting for the Linden Board of Education. Calling this meeting to order, I would like to invite you to salute to the flag. Thank you. Madam Secretary, can you please read the statement of adequate notice?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 10th, 2022, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Local Source, and the clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items in this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein, as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron? Yes. Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming? Gilliam? Present. Mr. Martucci?
Here.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Present. Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Present. Thank you, Madam Secretary. As per agenda, I'd like to motion the approval of minutes of the special meeting held on November 18, 2021. The copies of such meetings are in the hands of board members. Respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron? Yes. Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Fleming? Yes. Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Abstain.
Ms. Pino?
Abstain.
Ms. Thomas?
Abstain for number 1, yes to 2 and 3.
I only did number 1.
We're only doing number 1.
Pardon.
That's okay. Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. Second item, I'd like to motion to approve the minutes of the work session of the regular meeting held on November 23rd, 2021. Copies of such are in the hands of the board members. Respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
With a motion on the floor being second, if there's no discussion, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming? Yes. Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Abstain.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. In the same category, I'd like to motion to approve the minutes of the organizational meeting held on January 6, 2022. Copies of such meeting is in the hands of the board members. Respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Madam Secretary, with a motion on the floor being second and no discussions, I would like to ask you for roll call.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming? Yes. Ms. Gilliam?
Abstain.
Mr. Martucci?
Abstain. And one correction, I made a mistake on the one on November 18th. I was here. I was getting those two mixed up between the board meeting and the special meeting. All right, so I was there on November 18th. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. At this point, I'd like to, before we can go to comments from the public on the agenda items, I would like to respectfully ask for a Superintendent Report.
Good evening, President Rivas. Good evening, Linden Board of Education, parents, teachers, community members. Welcome. This evening, I would like to share some great news and other events that are happening here in Linden School District. On December the 10th, our staff and students took part in our district's first celebration day to focus on social emotional learning. This was a day of fun and games when everyone got to set aside the normal stresses of the lessons and curriculum and relax a little. We felt that allowing them meaning teachers and our students, this break to focus on their own well-being was crucial considering how difficult the school year and the past 2 years have been. The response was overwhelmingly positive from staff, children, and parents, and we plan to continue with more celebration days for the rest of the school year, with the next celebration day being planned for February the 11th. Congratulations to school number 10 third grader Amelia Hanger for raising over $2,000 for the Friends of Linden Animal Shelter as part of a service project that she initiated for Martin Luther King Day. Amelia collected this money from throughout the community and used it to buy food and supplies for the shelter. She also offered the option to donate through the shelter's website, and the shelter received $1,900 in donations during the period of the service project. Great job, Amelia. We continue to offer district vaccine clinics and COVID testing in partnership with St. George's Family Pharmacy, and urge all of our staff, students, and families to get vaccinated or get their booster shot to help slow the spread of the virus. Our numbers have come down greatly since returning from winter break, but we must maintain vigilance. Information about registering for the vaccine clinic is available on our website at lindenps.org. Next, the Linden Board of Education and the entire Linden school community, we are deeply saddened to learn of the following deaths. Patricia Sepp worked for Linden Board of Education for 26 years. Patricia was appointed the secretary for the Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics. Patricia has worked in that department until she retired in 2013. Patricia started working for the Linden Public School System in 1977 and retired in 2003. On behalf of the Linden School District, we offer our most heartfelt sympathies to her family. Our thoughts are with you and your family during this time. Tiffany C. Massey Kimbrell worked for the Linden Board of Education for 5 years as a paraprofessional. Ms. Massey substituted as a teacher in all of our schools until December the 1st, 2022. We extend our heartfelt sympathies not only to Ms. Massey, but also to her children who are also students here in the Linden School District. Our thoughts are with you and your family during this time, and I would encourage everyone to reach out to School 5. They are spearheading fundraising activities to support a college fund for her 3 children. Joseph Suttle worked for the Linden Board of Education for 13 years as a custodian at Seoul Middle School. Mr. Suttle retired in 2003. He worked for Linden School District from 1990 until his retirement. On behalf of the Linden School District, we offer our most heartfelt sympathies to his family. Our thoughts are with you and your family during this time. Next, I would like to share our latest retirees and their announcement to retire from the Linden School District. Wendy Castillo started in 2000 as a part-time school aide for the Linden Board of Education. Wendy has worked for the district for the last 21 years at School 6, and we are sorry to see her go. Thank you for your passion and dedication to the students and family here in Linden. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best. Enjoy your retirement. Vito Shabuzzo, did I pronounce that right? Okay. Started working with us in 1987, the year I graduated high school, as a crisis intervention aide for the Linden Public School. Vito has worked at Linden High School as the crisis intervention aide for 34 years. Thank you for your passion and dedication to the students of Linden and their families. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best. Enjoy your retirement. Luisa Grassi started working for the Linden Board of Education as a school nurse in 2004. Ms. Grassi has worked at Seoul Middle School and School 10. Thank you for your passion and dedication to the students and families in Linden. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best. Enjoy your retirement. Paulina Gutierrez started in 2003 as a part-time school aide for the Linden Board of Education. Paulina has worked at School 6 for the past 18 years. Thank you, Paulina, for your passion and dedication to the students and families in Linden. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best in your next chapter. Please enjoy your retirement. And the last retiree that I have to mention, no, she's not the last, but this next retiree will be sorely missed, as well as all of the people that I'm mentioning. However, head nurse Joyce Hirsch has been a hero in this district for the last 2 years, and probably before I started as superintendent, in helping us navigate the COVID pandemic. As the head nurse, she was in charge of contact tracing, and she has just done a spectacular job during these last 2 years. Joyce started working for the Linden Board of Education as a nurse, a school nurse in 1997. During her 25 years with the district, Joyce was the school nurse at school number 9 and Linden High School. In 2006, Mrs. Hirsch was appointed as the district's head school nurse. Joyce, thank you so much for your passion and dedication to the students and family in Linden. The Linden Board of Education, as well as, I believe, every staff member here in the district, we wish you all the best, and please enjoy your retirement. Next, our next retiree, Beverly McGinnis, has worked for the Linden Board of Education for 35 years. Ms. McGinnis started as a special education aide at Seoul Middle School in 1987. Beverly was appointed as secretary in 1993 in the medical office at the high school academy building, and has been the secretary for that office since she started. Thank you for your support, Ms. McGinnis, and your passion and dedication to the students and family in Linden. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best. Enjoy your retirement. Donna Weber. Hello, Donna. How are you? She will also be sorely missed. Donna Weber started working for the Linden Board of Education in 1978. Ms. Weber was appointed as a secretary for the Special Services Department at Linden High School. Donna is currently a secretary in the Purchasing Department. Thank you for your passion and dedication to the students and family, Donna. The Linden Board of Education wish you all the best. Enjoy your retirement. You will be missed. And that concludes this portion of my superintendent's report. I am going to pass the microphone over to our board president as we acknowledge our 2 past board members with special plaques.
That is correct.
Rivas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tonight, due to the circumstances that we had during our board meetings in December, not meeting in December, and having acknowledged that there are people in our community who have served for this board, who have given every one of the efforts to try to look for better days for our children, for the district, this board cannot overlook to recognize 2 of the board members who their term expires December 31st. Although we gave them a diploma as a recognition for their work, we have invited today because we want to make sure that they receive a plaque from us in their honor for having them serve for the District of Linden. And I'd like to call our board members, Mariante Manganello and Patrick Gargano, to please come forward and receive your recognition. the Linden Board of Education in recognition of the years of service and dedication to the children of the Linden Public Schools. We would like to provide you with this token of appreciation and recognition for the job for all the good efforts that you do at the Board of Education. Thank you for accepting this with us. All members, if you would like to come with us to recognize perfect.
Take a picture, I'm standing next to you.
You're in the front.
You have to take a picture?
Yes.
What do you do?
Excuse me?
Let's go.
Give me a minute. I'm going. You go. How are you? Fine. You just changed your hair. You just changed your hair.
Education report.
Then the education report.
I guess we should bring it back to this. Once again, we'd like to thank our board members for the job, and we're really proud to have the recognition. Before we continue forward, I want to wave the floor back to the superintendent to provide us some information about a symposium that we attend in Washington, D.C. last Saturday, and something that is coming along as a development for the board members of the city of Linden. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Rivas. I had the honor and pleasure of attending the National School Board Association's Equity Symposium with Mr. Rivas this past Saturday in Washington, D.C., where board members and superintendents from around the country gathered to discuss equity, among other things, student voice. It was a very, very informative conference with all protocols being followed, a lot of great information that we were able to bring back. Just a snapshot for board members. In your folder you will find a synopsis of the event along with information on the keynote speakers and some of the sessions and presentations that Mr. Rivas and I attended. As we know, professional development is important not only for our teachers and our administrators, but also our board members. During these professional development opportunities, we get to hear from like-minded educators from around the world, and we share ideas and discuss new, innovative programs that may or may not benefit your home district. So we provided information regarding this symposium, as well as the American School Board Journal that has a lot of great informative articles. And also Mr. Rivas and I are encouraging the board to consider attending the National School Board Association's National Convention that will be held April 2nd through the 4th. And information is in your folder regarding that conference as well. And Ms. Fleming, your folder will be sent home with the magazine as well. You're very welcome. Thank you, Mr. Rivas.
Thank you. And I'd like to ask our committee, Education Committee, to please present the educational report.
The Education Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of School and the Assistant Superintendent, present the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Agenda items 1 through 36. And I respectfully request a second.
Second.
There is a motion on the floor been second. Any discussion? Before we can proceed to voting, I would like to just bring up my consideration to the item about training. I know it has been a very topic of discussion. Development of our teachers is something that not only it is in our contract, but it's also something that we cannot take away from them, as well as Dr. Hazelton says that we would like to invite ourselves to develop classes in the next conference. There is no things that we can ask more than what is in our bylaws and it is in our policy. And just for the concerns of many of the board members out there, they're concerned with members of our staff going to places where the numbers of COVID are very high. I have a conversation with Dr. Hazelton to ask, only ask, because we cannot force anybody to do so, this is not part of the policy, that if we approve these items for the concern that we have, maybe they can take a test before they come back to classes as a volunteer basis. That's the only thing that I could say that it can be taken in that consideration. If anybody has any other comments, we will then proceed to vote. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming? Yes. Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino? Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
I say yes. Thank you all for everything that you do in the education. Ladies and gentlemen, I have received a text from my wife. I am dealing with a personal situation, a medical situation, but being that I couldn't be with my wife in the hospital because they keep me outside, came in to start the meeting, I'm going to ask permission for the board to absent myself. I'm going to ask our Vice President, Dr. Berghammer, to continue with the meeting. If time permits, I will try to return. If that is permission is granted, I would like to pass the direction of the meeting to Dr. Berghammer.
Yes.
Thank you, board members. Good luck. Thank you.
The next agenda item is Personnel Committee report. Is the Personnel Committee report?
That's an executive. Hold on one second.
Oh, we have to go into executive session right now first?
Executive.
Just skip it, yeah, skip the,
Are we going to go into executive session?
yeah, skip the personnel and do the,
So we will go to the finance.
yeah, we'll go into close and then we'll come out and do personnel.
So the next item on the agenda right now would be the finance report. Would the committee chair present the finance report?
I'm not staying over, man.
It's finance.
Is it Mr. Martucci or Mrs.
Motion.
Fleming?
Is there a motion on the floor? I asked to present the finance report.
Who is presenting? Ms.
Are you
Fleming is the
here?
chair.
The next agenda item is the finance report. Would the committee chair present the finance report?
Is it Mr. Martucci or is it Mrs. Fleming?
Ms. Fleming?
Fleming, can you present the finance report?
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't hear. Sorry about
No
that.
worries.
Finance Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and Business Administration Board Secretary, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Items ask for items 1 through 19 approved.
Second.
Ask for a second.
You have a second.
Is there any discussion? Before we pass for approval, is there any discussion on this report?
Yes. I approve all except number 12.
No discussion.
Okay.
Do you have any
Do you have any questions?
Yes.
If there's anything you want to discuss, we can discuss it now. Otherwise, when you vote, you can vote yes on the ones you want to vote yes on and no on the ones.
Okay. I guess to the notion of number 12, was any more information provided to the board president regarding the questions we had regarding the ESSER grant?
can't hear. I'm sorry, Malaysia, I can't hear.
I said, were there any more information provided to the board president regarding the questions we had regarding the ESSER grant and the HVAC for the upgrades? Number 12 on finance.
I don't know the answer to that. I do know that in conversations I had earlier today about the agenda with the board president, I do think he was prepared to leave it on the agenda and have a vote yes or no on that item.
Thank you.
So would board members be passed, would you move forward with a vote, Madam Secretary?
Roll call.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll call.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes, but no to number 12?
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes, but no to number 12.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Miss-
No to number 12.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes, but no to number 12.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes, so no to number 12.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes, but no to number 12.
Buildings and grounds?
Buildings and, well, we finished. So now we're going to go to the next agenda item, which is buildings and grounds.
Thank you. The Buildings, Grounds, and Security Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrative Board Secretary, present the following motions for the Linden Board of Education for approval. So, looking for 1 through 4. I need a second.
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding buildings and grounds in this report? If there's no discussions, Madam Secretary, would you put it to a vote?
Sure. Roll call. Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
No.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes. So I guess right now.
You'll ask for a motion to go into closed
Yes,
session?
so we would like to have a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
So I guess we go now. Okay.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Just so the members of the public are aware, we'll go into closed. When we come out, we'll carry on with the rest of the agenda, including the personnel items.
Just, Dr. Bowman.
Yes.
Board members, members of the district, my gratitude for the opportunity, Dr. Berghammer, for allowing me to step out of the meeting. Things are good. Thank you. Some of my family emergencies was resolved. At this time, having come back while the personal discussion was ending, I would like to make a motion to return into a public session. I respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
34?
Yes.
Tabling 34.
Did you move that including, you moved that including item 34?
We have
They haven't
not-
even done it
we're-
yet.
We're first coming back into session.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you
We're
moved
coming back into
personnel. I
session.
apologize.
Ms. Gilliam?
coming back into
Yes.
session.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. Following on agenda, it is my understanding that the next agenda that we need to discuss is a personnel report. I would like to ask the chairman of the personnel committee to present the agenda.
The Personnel Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. All appointments and reappointments are contingent upon and may be modified based on student participation and the district's receipt of sufficient state school aid and other revenue funding. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 33 and items 35 through 47, tabling item number 34. I ask for a second.
Second?
There is a motion on the floor. Any discussion? Although this is personnel, it needs to be offered. With no discussion, with a motion on the floor being second, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Ms. Cintron? Yes. Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes to all and no to item number 7.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. And we're going to go to new or unfinished business. This is the opportunity for our board members to express any new or unfinished business. The floor is open, board members.
I would like to discuss new business.
All right. Ms. Fleming, if you can kindly allow Mr. De La Cruz, I think he started first, and then we will go. Or would you
We
like
can
to?
let Ms. Fleming go.
Okay. Ms. Fleming, the floor is yours.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to provide meetings online so that the community can attend the meetings. It's not just about COVID. Besides COVID, we need to put the meetings online so we can have accessibility. We need to make this accessible for all groups, for our community, so that we can have a larger community involvement in real time. It brings equity and inclusion into our meetings. And I believe that that would be the right thing to do. The community should be able to call in real time and make public comments and address the board and not watch it on a local channel later where they can't call in and be a part of the board. So I would like to change that and take that, if you want to take it off the local channel, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But I really think that we should definitely have this online.
Okay. There is a motion on the floor to authorize online links for our constituents to follow the meetings live through a link. Is that the motion, Ms. Fleming? Ms. Fleming, can you hear me?
It should be live as if when we were quarantined, some people would be on, at the meetings and some people would be online, and the community was able to call in and speak to us from their homes. We have, some people with disabilities that can't make it in. It creates an inclusion. It creates a better community and accessibility for the entire community.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The board is free to adopt whatever policies it wants with respect to how to allow for virtual participation. I've seen it done in various different public boards in different ways. I wouldn't recommend the call-in option. I had a board in Sussex County last night which does, they have a live component, and then they also do the meeting via Zoom for people who want to participate virtually. And there's an option where on the Zoom they can raise their hand if they want to speak, and the IT person recognizes the raised hand and allows them to speak. I would do it that way as opposed to having people call into some number and we can't see them, we don't know who they are. I would recommend the Zoom option if that's the way you want to go.
All right. There is anybody seconding the motion, Ms. Jennifer?
I would second the motion because that's the route I was going in also. So she beat me to the punch because I let her go first, but that's okay. But I was going the same route. I believe we should be transparent and we should be able, with the advances that we have of technology here in Linden, we should be able to hold a meeting online or Zoom, however it is, and we should be able to see on the monitor who wants to ask a question and so on and so forth.
There is a motion on the floor. It's been second. I would like to put it to a discussion. If any board member has any comments about the motion on the floor, or try any to discuss about the motion that is on the floor.
I agree that we should go live, but I also agree with Mr. Garcia's option that we should limit or we should have it done where people could be on the internet and calling in that way as opposed to via telephone.
In regards to the discussion of this motion, Ms. Fleming, having you being the person who motioned this, may I recommend that at the same time within your motion, if you'd like to redo your motion, request for the district to purchase a new equipment for this. It looks like the equipment that we have and the system that we're using for this virtual meetings is not working. We cannot see the public. We cannot see. There are plenty of systems out there that will facilitate the having meetings virtually and in person, and having the opportunity for our constituents over there to show their comments and to say their views and so on. I don't think that we have been using a system that has been working for us. So it's either my recommendation, you are the one holding the motion, that we need to authorize the district to locate a new system that we can utilize for us to have this type of new meetings, which in reality aligns with the 21st century. I honestly understand that having the technology department that we have and having seen the equipment that we have seen so far, it's my opinion, it doesn't convince me that we have the equipment needed to have that done.
I'm confused on why we wouldn't have, I must have missed something, why we wouldn't have the equipment to do this when we have already actually done this. Did I miss something?
One of the things that I would like to show in this particular communication to you is that throughout more than a year, we have held meetings virtually, and we have held meetings virtually and in person. Every time we held a meeting virtually, unless we have not been provided with the tools to organizedly maintain a virtual meeting, the equipment that has been presented to us is unacceptable. We cannot see who's online. We cannot see who raises their hand. I know that we have an IT representative here providing us information, but as anybody said, this is something that we should all see. We should all have presence. I don't know if we will need a monitor in front of us. I don't know what we will need, but it will definitely something that I will need to recommend the district to pay close attention to the type of equipment that we have.
Can I suggest one alternative?
Yes.
You're free to do. Rather than voting on a motion tonight that just says, hey, we're going to do these meetings virtually, do you want to have committee sit down with IT and investigate and create a plan as to just exactly how that's going to be done? And then we can vote to approve and adopt that plan at the next meeting. And then you'll be ready to hit the ground running with both live and virtual components for the meeting at the, what month are we in? January? At the March meetings.
Ms. Fleming, you are the owner of the motion. Our counselor has provided a recommendation. Provide us your opinion. You have a motion on the floor.
I'm sorry, I must have missed something. I would like to keep the motion on the floor, and I think we should do this as soon as possible.
Ms. Fleming, the board member who have placed the motion is to
Hold online meetings.
approve meetings, virtual meetings immediately, so our constituents can not only follow our meetings, but also participate in the meetings. The motion has been second. There was one discussion. My opinion was to request the equipment to be look at it and probably authorize the district to purchase one. But again, even if the motion is approved or not, I think we should look at the equipment and find out how we can make this happen if the motion is approved.
Can I add then, I guess, and she wants to continue going forward with it, so if it's approved, maybe with the IT department, we can speak immediately as of tomorrow or the day after and find out what is needed or what isn't needed and see where we stand with them and then move forward at that point, because we already know we approved.
You also need time to notice the meeting. You have to provide adequate notice that the meeting is going to be held both in person and virtual.
Dr. Hazelton.
And I will provide the board with an update regarding what we are capable of and addressing some of the concerns that were mentioned here tonight.
I have a
So
question.
you'll have that by the end of the week.
Okay.
So with this motion here, are we suggesting that it'll be live, or are we going to take
Both.
So not Zoom?
No, I have, like I said, I have a meeting, one of my clients that I was at last night, they have a live meeting. People are invited to come in person if they want to come in person. If they don't want to come in person, they can't make it in person, they could participate via Zoom. They can watch the entire meeting. When we get to public comment, we ask our IT person, does anyone have their hand raised and wishes to speak? If they do, the IT person, again, I don't know how it works totally, but it clicks on a button and then that person's able to speak. They ask their, they make their comments, and then we go to the next person.
So is that what we'll be doing, the Zoom?
That's the way I understood it. It was going to be both. It was going to be a hybrid.
That's what we want to make sure that it's approved. And just a reminder for board members that were here during the months of the pandemic, we were having virtual meetings, and that was the same concept. Like at that time, everybody could have just log in and be part of the meeting. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that with a motion that is approved, that will stay within the guidelines that we need to follow. I think that's what Ms. Fleming is trying to do. Any other discussion before we go into voting? Madam Secretary, can you please, for clarification, can you let the board members know the motion made by Ms. Fleming and been seconded by Mr. De La Cruz, so we can vote on it?
The motion was to provide live, online, and in-person meetings to the public, for the public immediately.
Board members, we're going to vote. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
No.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes.
Did I miss Ms. Gilliam?
No, I voted.
Oh, okay.
So I appreciate all board members. There is one resolution that is going to be taking place immediately. Any other new or unfinished business that we would like to discuss this evening?
Unfinished business, I would like to know about the School 6, the trailers, on where we would be on moving, on getting an attachment to that building and getting an architect to find out how much it would cost us for that building.
That is an information that we need to request to the district. Is the district has any type of information to provide tonight in request to what Mr. La Cruz is asking?
About having
No,
those
we have
trailers.
not. No, we haven't started that discussion. I guess during the committee meeting, buildings and grounds, that can be brought to the table.
Okay.
To start that process.
Okay,
Copy that.
thank you. Any other new and unfinished business, board members? I have one that I want to bring in. In October 2021, last year, this board approved to publish out there and request for qualifications for auditors so they can help us understand the finances of a district. From October of 2021 into last Friday, when we received a package with the companies that they have provided the qualifications or answer to the ad, 3 months has passed. And it is my opinion, that we are going to we're going to be making several of decisions that are going to impact the finances of our district. There's several decisions out there that as board members we will have to agree to approve or disapprove situations that has to do with the finances of the district and the future of the finances of the district. I believe that it will be very beneficial for us to get a bigger broad spectrum of more qualifications that there are only 2 companies apply. And I think that this is a very important topic for the district's finances of our school district. So I would like to motion today that to our board secretary to please inform the companies that have applied that we're going to repost for qualifications in order to get a bigger spectrum of more companies that they want to have to offer. I personally I had an opportunity quickly to review the qualification, and there is nothing that I can see that I could provide us with something that is so important for a district that to review our finances. So I respectfully ask for the board to support my motion to reject these 2 entries and to repose for qualifications for an auditor that we need in order to look at the finances for the last 5 years. I respectfully ask for a second.
I second.
Any discussions? Madam Secretary, roll
I have a question, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So you're saying that we had people, after we bid, we got 2 individuals, and now you want to rebid? Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm proposing. In my opinion, as the opinion of one board member, not the board, I think that I couldn't be able to see anything outstanding that will create a reason for expedite on hiring any of them without having the opportunity to see a bigger broad of more opportunities out there. And this is a very important topic, the finances of the district, so that's what I'm proposing, to reject those 2 requests and repost the position immediately. The request for proposal, the proposal for qualifications immediately. Madam Secretary, roll call.
We have a second?
Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
I
Cruz, second, and
I seconded.
Berghammer, second.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
The $6 million.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
No.
Mr. Martucci?
No.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes. Thank you.
May I ask a question? Do you want in the advertisement to say the current applicants need not apply again?
No, I would not do
No?
that.
Okay.
I would not do that.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Before we continue on, any other new and unfinished business? Well, I hate to be the one that continues to bring something to the table, but this is the table where we, as the government body of our district, needs to discuss things. So far, we have an opportunity to do so once a month or twice a month, counting our work session. But it is also important for us to understand that our responsibilities does not just necessarily call for us to come here to these meetings. Our responsibilities also comes to us to be part of the committee discussions. Many of these meetings have taken so long during many of these months because many board members, as a volunteer of the job this is, may have not shown up for committee meetings for almost 4 to 6 months. That is unacceptable. If you do not want to be part of a committee because you may not have the time after you have assigned, every one of you have an opportunity to decline, to resign to the committee. Give the opportunity to another board member to have an opportunity to discuss matters that are important to the school district. So I wanted to make sure that as we discuss this, to remind you of our duties, and also to remind you that our job is to create policy and to make sure that the work that we have to do, because we have a lot of work to do, that it may be not necessarily 2 meetings a month. You may be summoned to come in to discuss matters on committee. You may be summoned to come in to discuss matters that are important for the district. All I'm asking is for you cooperation. If we are not discussing the matters for our district, coming here to the meeting, it doesn't make sense. We are the governance body, and the governance starts with us and ends with us. So I just going to put that out there for all of you to know, that if you do not want to be part of a committee meeting, you have the opportunity to resign, give the opportunity to somebody that will care, and they will come in and discuss matters that are good for the business of the district. All right. Board member comments is our next topic on the agenda, and I will start with Ms. Thomas.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to keep this very brief. I'd like to give a shout out to Amelia Hanger for raising the money for the food and supplies for the animal shelter. I think that's such a wonderful thing for a child to do. I also would like to send my condolences to the families of those who have passed. I also would like to thank School 5 for spearheading the college fund for the children of Mrs. Matthew Kimbrough. That's very admirable. And if there's anything that we can do as far as it being board-wise, I'm not sure the stipulations there, to help, please let us know. Also, I'd like to congratulate our retirees and also everyone on the agenda for their new appointments. We have a lot of work to do to move the district forward, from academic growth to school safety for our students and all staff members. None of these things are a one-size-fits-all thing. So we are going to be doing things differently and adapting to our ever-changing environment. I hope everyone stays healthy and safe and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Gilliam.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year's to you all. First, I'd like to thank all of our presenters that came to our work session. I appreciate you and your time. I'd like to congratulate School 10th student Amelia for raising funds for an animal shelter. I'm truly proud of your beautiful heart. I'd like to congratulate our 3 new board members, wishing you all the best and looking forward to working with you all. Next, I'd like to congratulate the following staff members on their retirement: Ms. Grassi, Ms. Castillo, 21 years of service, Mr. Shabusa, sorry for messing that up, Vito, 34 years, Ms. Gutierrez, Ms. Hirsch, 25, Ms. Guinness, 35 years, and Ms. Weber for 44 years of service. We have amazing people that I just listed who are retiring, and they'll truly be missed. Thank you so much for pouring into our community and our students. This is truly a dynamic group that is retiring, so I want to thank you all a million. We'll miss you, Mrs. Donna. I'd like to take a moment to extend my sincerest condolences to the Sapp, Massey, and the Sutton family. I truly cannot imagine what you all are facing at this time. However, I pray that you may find comfort in the Lord and that He may bring you peace. I want to take a moment to speak about Tiffany. She was sweet, always smiling and sharing her light. It is truly unfortunate to know that she has transitioned and moved on. Lastly, next month is Black History Month, so I would like to collaborate with my fellow board members so that we may highlight our beautiful and diverse district. In closing, I would like to request a board retreat. I know that we have attempted to schedule a meeting October 20th, 2021. However, our board presently has not followed through with an actual date. And although I am aware of the challenges we have faced as a country, that shouldn't stop us from learning and evolving. So I would like to request that we have a vote tonight to schedule a date so we can be a team, and this is actually my 3rd time requesting for a retreat. So at this moment, if it is okay with you, Board President, that we may take this opportunity to have a motion to schedule a board retreat.
Ms. Gillian, we appreciate the comments. First, whatever you're asking is totally warranted. Second, it's already in the plans, and we are scheduling our board retreat for February 5th as the plans with the superintendents are. And third, I really urge you to follow through with the responsibility as a board member, because if we were connected, you will know that this has already been followed through. So please follow through. As I said, there are some board members here in this board that have not come into a committee meeting.
I don't know what
in
you're talking
almost
about.
6
That
months. I
doesn't
said
refer
some
to
board
me.
members, and I appreciate your comments as comments they are. There is no need for a motion because there is a retreat already in place.
Okay, but I am connected and I have emails, so please do not tell me that I was supposed to know that we were going to be having it.
I appreciate your comments.
I'm not done.
This is a
Can I
comments. This is a
finish?
comment
Yes, it
session,
is
not
my
a
time.
discussion.
Cut her off. Stop cutting her off.
You're off.
Let her speak.
Mr.
Stop
Matucci,
cutting her
you
off.
are off.
Be respectful.
Off limits.
Be respectful.
You are off limits.
You're cutting her off.
You are off limits.
I wasn't aware of a time, so that would also be in an email from our board secretary. The last email that I have, which I responded, was if you were available for this date, a half a day, please respond yes or no. I have that email. And that was the last email that our that our board secretary has sent to the board. So if we're going to be having a retreat, all members should be aware of the date, of the time. That was not made clear to me, nor did anyone ask me if I was available.
I appreciate your comments. This is
I'm
a
gonna
comment
finish my
session.
comments.
This is
Thank
a
you.
comment session.
Jesus. Everyone in this board has said that they're here to serve our community. I personally ran at the age of 23 years old to serve this city for the children and to advocate for what is right. There seems to be many people who are serving their own selfish motives and way too much dysfunction across the entire board. So please, for children of Linden, let's get back on track. Let's learn from one another, strive to be a united team so that this generation and every generation after is able to thrive and flourish. Just on this wall right here, on top of the tiger, it says to be kind. That means to be respectful. If we as a board cannot demonstrate kindness and respect, how do you expect our students to implement that on an everyday basis? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. De La Cruz.
Thank you. My condolences, thank you, public, for being here with us. My condolences go out to the SEP, the Massey Kimbrough, and the Suttle family. My prayers and condolences goes out to you. Not an easy task when you lose somebody in the family. Our staff that's currently retiring, congratulations, very well deserved. A lot of you guys worked hard for this retirement. Please enjoy it, have a drink on us, and remember us when you go out there and you're enjoying your retirement. Congrats to Miss Amelia from the 3rd grade with the fundraising of the animals. And keep it up. If you're in 3rd grade now, there's nothing that can stop you in the future what you can do. Keep up that good work. This COVID still has taught, we're still in a pandemic. I'm hoping we're coming to the end of it. Apparently, when you think you're coming to the end, the numbers start going up and another variant just came up, like they said, I believe today I heard, there's another variant that may be here in New Jersey, and we don't know anything about it yet. However, this COVID, if it's taught us anything, it's taught us to try to be closer to one another, especially with family, because you saw how quick we lost people, and how we're still losing people, but not at the rate we were losing. And there's a lot of people throughout every industry in the United States and maybe throughout the world, this COVID has slowed down and has made a lot of people lose jobs and has made a lot of people refocus on what's important. So when I keep on hearing that Linden is still short of teachers and people are retiring, we got to stop and think they're retiring for reasons. All these teachers and nurses and everybody that's been part of this Linden district, they're retiring after 20 plus years, okay? The ones that are leaving sooner, we don't know why, okay? They might have refocused their life. And some people are afraid to be in with so many people in a classroom, okay? They're afraid to be around people still. So the decisions that they're making, they're probably not making the decision lightly. They're taking and making the decisions because it's something personal. Okay, but I am getting tired of hearing that the board here that sits here before you is making decisions to make teachers run away. We don't know why teachers are running. We don't know why people are leaving. Okay, and that is nationwide. It is not only Linden, New Jersey. It is nationwide. Everybody's in a shortage. Okay, and every industry across the board is in shortage. Okay, so we are making the best decision possible. Yes, we might not all see eye to eye, because we're not going to all see eye to eye. We're 9 individuals. Okay, everybody has a different way of thinking. But we work hard enough. We volunteer our time hard enough to be here and try to move the district forward. And if we make a mistake, we're human. We will make a mistake and we will try to correct it and move forward. That's all I ask. Okay? So moving forward, once again, I want to thank all our teachers, our administrators, our staff here, our Board of Education. Okay? Everybody here has one part that they've played and they continue playing and trying to make the right decisions. Okay, whether it's from staff or us, even students making decisions. So we have to continue moving and support each and one of us. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. De La Cruz. Mr. Martucci.
Oh, just one short thing is just I'd like to congratulate again Ms. Cintron and Ms. Pino. I wasn't here for reorgan. Of course, Dr. B. I was stuck with the dreaded C for about 3 weeks, but congratulations. Wish you the best for the next 3 years because you're going to go through some trying times. But again, do your best. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Pino.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for voting me in here, and I'm going to do my best to do what I'm supposed to do. Now, we sit up here and say that we're for the children. Let's make it for the children. Stop catting back and forth about this, that, and the other. We're here for the children. Let's make it for the children. And we need to take a little step out of the book from Amelia. You see what she did? She did it all by herself. So let's all do that together, okay? And thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much I'm elated about all of this. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Citron.
Good evening, all. I'm honored as a new member to be among this board. I see that there's a lot of work to do, and I am dedicated to put the time in for our students who are the priority. I would also like to congratulate the retirees and just piggyback off of Ms. Pino with Amelia, school number 10. If she can do it, that as being a role model, we can do it as well. Just helping each other and trying to raise money and so forth, that's very admirable of her. And I would like to also say thank you for voting for me, for having the confidence that I'll do the right thing and for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Fleming, virtually.
Good evening. Yes, virtually. I love virtual. So, well, let's start there. So I thank you all. I thank you all for your patience as I join you virtually, as I have to quarantine because for medical reasons I'm about to have spine surgery on my spine. So I have to remain quarantined just to be safe. So I thank you all for your patience and accommodating me as I go through this very stressful time in my life. I also ask you for your prayers. Please pray for me. If you pray, I could use them. I would like to give my condolences to those we've lost, to their friends and their families. That's always hard when we see these, come across our meetings. It's very difficult, and you have my condolences. Let's see, Amila, School 10. That's amazing what you did. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You're a role model for all those around you. Keep up the great work. I would also like to thank our past board members, Patrick Gargano and Mary Anthony Manganello. Thank you for your service. It seems easy when you're watching somebody do something, but when you actually are doing the job, it's a lot harder than it looks, from the seats on the other side. So I thank you for your service. I thank you for volunteering for that position for a very long time. You gave a part of yourself to Linden, the Linden School District, so thank you. I have to thank Dr. Hazelton and the board members for attending the meeting, the conference there. I couldn't go, so I'm grateful for you for attending that in my absence and bringing home the notes. Thank you, I appreciate that. So that I can also have the information that you gathered while you were away. I would like to speak on professional development. I thank you all for the professional development that you do, and I ask you to be safe while you do it, which we discussed that, if there is an online professional development, that we would ask you to consider taking the online version rather than going in person. One, it's safer. Two, it saves money for, the taxpayers. It's more time. You're saving time. There's so many great things that you can do virtually. I would also like to talk about the COVID numbers in our schools. We can see that they're going down now, so I'm really grateful for that. And I would ask that we all still be vigilant on, washing our hands. Let's not forget those early moments where you would hear on, the TV, the radio, you would hear everybody say, wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask, do all these things, not just for yourself, but for your community. When you're in Walgreens and you don't have a mask on, you're putting others at risk when you're not being safe. And the mask is for people around you. So if it doesn't fit right and it's sliding down your face, maybe you need a new mask, or you could just tie some knots maybe in the elastic there to make it fit better. But it should cover your mouth and your nose, because your nose is connected to your mouth. I know I shouldn't have to say this, but you will be surprised I have to say this. So I would just ask you to please show respect for those around you. Show that you love thy neighbor. Keep your mask up. Care about your community, your co-workers. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Please look out for the kids. I'm happy to see the numbers going down, though. So keep up the good work. Let's see here. I really do thank the board members for allowing us to have the online meetings. You know, I'm online right now for a reason, because I have to be. But I also really truly do believe that anyone in our community should be able to have accessibility. You should be able to sit in your home or get on your iPad or your iPhone or your computer and be able to dial into the meetings and be able to be a part of the school district. You pay for it. 49%, I think, of your taxes go to the school district. I think you have the right to be involved if you would like to be. I hope that you would be involved, and so that you can be at each meeting, so you can see what's going on. You can see the issues that are going on in the school district. I think it would be very helpful to parents or grandparents or, you know, those aunts and uncles that can be involved if they can't physically be in the building, especially right now. So I just want to thank everybody for their time. Thank you, Dr. Hazelton, as always, for keeping me informed. I do appreciate you. And I know that we all get frustrated at times, and that's normal. We have a lot of stress right now. We have a pandemic. We have you know, things happening in the school, things happening that people don't really know about unless you're really in and a part of. So there's a lot of work going on in the backgrounds that you don't really see. And I just want to thank all of the people who are back there, who are not shouting from the rooftop about how great you are, but we see your work. We know who you are. And I just want to thank you for persevering in a time like this. I would like to also be respectful of your time because it's important. So I'll cut this short, and have a great evening, and we'll see you next month. Don't forget to pray for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming. Dr. Bingham.
Happy New Year to all Linden residents, parents, students, and Linden taxpayers. It is my hope and prayer that not only will the Linden School District continue to thrive during these stressful times, but we continue to reduce cost, improve accountability, and improve test scores. I want to thank the people of Linden for voting for me to be your voice on the Linden School Board. I give you my word that I will be committed to working for you and with you, and to report to you to the best of my ability. And I will never stop fighting to improve our school system, to increase our test scores, and to let the voices of the students, parents, community leaders, taxpayers, and all of Linden residents be heard. After working on the board for over four months, I want to inform you that ours is a difficult task because the board do not make decisions. The board make policies, and some of these policies are made based on limited information. What really bothers me is that students have the greatest stake in their education. However, students and parents have little or no say in how their education is delivered. As a board member, I will continue to raise awareness about what's going on in our school district and continue to stress on the important role parents, students, family, and our community leaders play in student success. I will regularly adjust and align my commitment to the core purpose of implementing policies intended to improve test scores, college readiness, and reduce costs. The board have been battling with the outsized voice of school leaders, while the unheard voices and unseen visibility of students, parents, community leaders, and Linden citizens cry out for change. I know there's challenges ahead, but I'm not afraid of the hard work. The time has come for the Linden School District to realize that top-notch program will get us nowhere unless students, families, and community leaders are engaged and working towards the same goal. It is a collective responsibility of everyone to change the trajectory. If you ask anyone whose responsibility it is to maximize the potential of Linden K-12 students, many will say parents and the schools. But all of us has a role in the success of all our students. The time has come for all of us to challenge the way we think and go back to the saying that it takes a village working together to raise our children. We have to focus on the whole child within our community. If some schools are doing well and others are doing poorly, then our system is not working for every student. This problem of inequity has been going on for far too long, even before the pandemic, yet we blame everything that is happening today on the pandemic. We have to stop this autocratic form of leadership and start listening to the Linden, the heartbeat of the people of Linden. For years, many of our students have been unengaged. And because of the pandemic, our students have become even more unengaged and unempowered bystanders in their education. The pandemic has completely taken away the voices of our students, parents, and community leaders, and we have to turn things around. Now we are faced with social and emotional crisis, personal identity, disengagement, and an unpredictable future ahead. Yet for the Linden School District, it is business as usual. In our last meeting, Dr. Hazelton asked, she said, "Tell me what you think we can do to change things." And here is my suggestion. We have to hear from our students. And this can be accomplished through student surveys, podcasts, and other forms of outlets. I am sure that if we conduct student surveys and ask students to think critically about what's going on at their schools, we will find that some students have some powerful things to share that we may not have even thought of. Right now, we have to start some intergenerational dialogue so that our students feel heard, valued, and respected. We have to start roundtable discussions with students. We have to identify if trust is lacking between students, teachers, staff, parents, community leaders, and Linden residents. When making decisions on hiring senior level management, we should encourage and support community input. Some of us believe that all recommendations made by the superintendent and business administrators should be approved by the board without question, but I disagree. I believe that any stakeholder, parent, student, and any community leader should have a say when decisions are being made that affect everyone. As I sit in many school board meetings, I listen to reasons why decisions are made, and I realize that many of these decisions have nothing to do with student outcome or change in demographics. When making hiring decisions, no one is considering that Linden is in the top 18% of diverse school communities in New Jersey. We hire all these top executives and we pay them top dollars to help with decision making. But the only thing changing is our student demographic. The Linden School District has to change what we do. I believe that the people of Linden should be aware of this. I'm concerned that the school district is not forward thinkers. And even though our student demographic is changing, our hiring practices remain the same. We continue to hire teachers, administrators, some teachers and administrators who have difficulties communicating with students. The disparity between our student population and teaching population will continue to put a strain on student performance and outcome, and taxpayers will pay the price because we'll have to keep hiring to make up for this disparity. The people of Linden are concerned about this trend and have appointed board members to address the city's need. However, some of the recommendations made by the board goes on deaf ears, and some of the board recommendations are being ignored. Someone once told me that it does not matter if our teachers do not speak a second language. We have Google Assist. I was truly surprised to hear this. Maybe I am growing old, but I am sure that no parent or student will prefer Google Assist over an educator who can speak their language. Teaching the whole child means being able to communicate with the entire family. Qualifications is important. However, employees' ability to communicate with students and parents is equally important, especially in these stressful and unpredictable times. In conclusion, the Linden School District need to listen to the voice of the people of Linden. I am grieved to report that the voice of the people of Linden is being ignored, and we have to change things. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bighammer.
Jesus.
I have always said in every meeting that when it's my time to present my comments, it's very hard to follow after hearing very compelling arguments and very compelling comments of my colleague board members. I would like to then try to follow through and join my fellow board members on the condolences to the families of the staff for the tough times, for the hard times that they are going through right now. I also like to join our fellow board members on congratulating our teachers that are retiring. I would like to say not only to the teachers, for our staff. I know that we have a great staff member here that's retiring. Thank you, Donna. Thank you. Everybody has recognized the great job that you have done through the years here in Linden. And I haven't had the opportunity to meet you personally, but I have to say that if they're saying it, they have to have a reason for saying it. So thank you. Emilia, I know that you're probably sleeping by now and that you may have not heard anything that we may have said and how we have recognized and we have appraised everything that you have done, but you have shown to be a role model and you have shown that you have the qualities of a leader, and this is what we need to continue to embrace with our students, with our children, with our community. We need leadership. We definitely need leadership out there, and I am going to share with you one of the thoughts that I had during many of the days when we're not in meetings, and I said, why are we holding meetings that are extending so long?
Exactly.
Why? And I only have come up with one answer. Because we care, because we are not going to tolerate to go over lightly the decisions that have to be made to our children and to our community. Many of you throughout many years may have experienced board meetings that were lasted 15 minutes. I was part of them when I started here in this board, when I started my representation of the boys of Linden. Those times are over because we cannot take lightly every decision or every item that is in the agenda. This agenda belongs to the children, belongs to the government's body, and we are the government's body of the district. So I wanted to make sure that I'm going to send a message to our children and to our teachers. Don't make no mistake about it. We value you. And because we value you, is that we spend so much time out of the times that we can be spending with our families, out of this time that we can be spending in many important things like not taking care of this, because we care. And we need to make sure that things that have not worked for us in 20 years before even any of us came to this board need to be changed. There are people in our community that like to just take a spotlight and come in and use a mic, the power of the mic, to just throw out things that are not necessarily truth statements. Members of the community, colleague board members, you know that our responsibility goes beyond this microphone. Our responsibility goes beyond the discussion that we have in front of the public. It goes with the decisions that we have to make, making sure that we're moving the district forward. Dr. Beinhammer, you said we were elected for a reason, and the reason is to be the voice of our children, of our parents out there. And we need to be that voice. We cannot expect to get a mic to try to minimize the voice of any of us without working and doing what we preach, because there are many people that preach something that they not do. So I ask for the district, for our teachers, for our children, that they can see this in a channel, they can hear it, or they're not over here today. Recognize the people that preach and do not do things, because only their actions will speak for them, not their words, but their actions. Disparity, we talk about disparity, and perhaps that is the reason why we ask so many questions, because we want to make sure that there is no disparity out there, not disparity in any process that should take place on a district. And again, for some of the teachers that might be here in these board meetings, they're going to say, it was about time for somebody to go out there and start embracing the fight, the inclusion that I have not been part of it throughout the years, and start valuing us. It is time over time when members of this board continue to talk about disparity and what we can do to make clear processes out there with everyone. Everyone will have the opportunity not only to be developed, but only help and develop others. We want to empower our children, and we want to make sure that we keep doing it, doing what we preach. Embracing the fight. You know, sometimes we embrace the fight for some, but not to all of them. This board, and for what I know, this board is embracing the fight for all of our members of our district, for all of the people out there, without any separation or without separating anybody. We have been blamed to have agendas. Yeah, we have an agenda. The agenda for us is to do better for our district, to do better for our children, and to make sure that we don't take everything lightly, because we are the ones who make these decisions. This is my last year on the board, and I like to say that I would have enjoyed so much if in my first year and a half as a board member, I should have had the respect that I'm providing to all of you board members, and the inclusion that I have provided to all of you board members to be part of the change. All of you have the right to be part of the change, and I'd like to thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always, to me, a reason to share my gratitude for each one of you on those chairs. And with the motion made today, to everyone will continue to see us starting next month live. There is transparency here. There is nothing to hide. And we're going to continue to work for the children of our school. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting us. Things do not happen from one day to another. It takes some time. And I assure you that having talked with individually many of these board members, our agenda is to make sure that we get better days for the District of Linden. With that said, I would like to motion for adjournment. If anybody can respectfully second it.
Second.
There is a discussion for a motion for adjournment being second. Any discussion if it's needed? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming? Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Thank you. Yes, meeting adjourned.